Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
I am going to channel the well-known, infamous roast of Bryan and Lance.
Oh, my God.
I vaguely remember this.
Lance was a champion in virtually every company he has appeared in. While he did hold the distinction of holding 3 titles, that angle fizzled out faster than his podcast, Killing the Town.
Wow. I now remember this utter disaster of a roast.
Let's get Lance a chair to sit in. And as we do, could we also bring someone up here to show him how to use it? I remember that chair shot. I don't remember who it was on, but
utter silence that this roast was met with.
Tom, at least I was smart enough not to do those chair shots again.
Bryan, besides me, there are others who I'm sure dislike you, like Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, but I think you're great, like a guiding light or a father, which is why I'm not surprised when you screw me every week. The best-selling author of The Death of WCW. He had just completed his new book, for which actually Lance Storm wrote the foreword, which is 3 more than most wrestling fans know.
Hideous. Atrocious.
It must be hard when you look so young. If I didn't know better, I'd say you had your grandma's jeans. But actually, if the camera panned down, I bet Lance is wearing them. Anyways, let's start the show. Carmelo went for the La Mystica. Andrade went for the Message.
It's actually not the La Mystica. It starts like a La Mystica, but the La Mystica is actually a submission, and he doesn't land in the submission. He just does the whole slam part and then jumps up.
Yeah, the La Mystica is a tilt-a-whirl head scissor into a Fujiwara armbar.
Into a Fujiwara armbar. The La Mystica is not the submission. Do not tell me
I didn't say that was a submission. I said the La Mystica involves the tilt-a-whirl facebuster into the submission. The whole thing. Why are you so angry?
Well, you just changed what you said live, right?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't land in a submission. He just slams them. So it's not a La Mystica.
I believe that's the actual move.
Okay,
but
whatever. Who cares?
I just hope editor Sean pulls up the exact clip of you saying La Mystica is a submission and then denying it afterwards.
La Mystica is actually a submission.
Welcome back, or possibly for the first time, to Wrestling Observer Live today. This is the voice of filthy Tom Lawler. We are here 7 days a week talking all the news in MMA, of course, professional wrestling, combat sports, various other topics. Monday through Friday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern with Andrew Zarian. And Saturday mornings with Jim Valley at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have a lot to get into on the show here, as always, in a somewhat truncated format because, well, the connection between Bryan and I, as it most often is, went bad. However, we were able to shore things up, and here I am after all. So, of course, we'll get into tons of shows. I mean, there's a litany of shows this weekend starting tonight. I mean, there's TNA Impact. There's a Ring of Honor show tonight. There is SmackDown tomorrow, ROH Final Battle, NXT Deadline, TNA Revolution, UFC 323. The list goes on and on and on. We'll start off with a little bit of injury news coming out of AEW. A little bit of injury news coming out of AEW. Our own Bryan Alvarez reported on Wednesday's Wrestling Observer Radio that Darby Allin indeed has been injured. This was mentioned on the AEW Dynamite show last night. And Bryan Alvarez has confirmed that Darby Allin did get hurt in his match with Kevin Knight on last week's Dynamite, but it's unclear at what point he got hurt. Bryan believes it was on a coast-to-coast dropkick that Kevin Knight landed, and boy, did he ever land it. However, he could not confirm that was where the injury took place. Alvarez said Allin was not in the hospital for the entire week. He was cleared to leave at some point, so he was eventually able to travel home. The actual injury has not been revealed or reported. As far as whether Darby Allin will be able to continue on in the Continental Classic, it is believed that AEW, when they mentioned that we will have more information on Saturday's Collision, that is when they will have more information on Darby Allin's condition. So it will be this Saturday. We will find out some more info. That was a legitimate statement. And as I mentioned, it is unclear whether he will be able to continue on in this tournament. So all the best to Darby Allin. We've seen him take on some of the most arduous physical tasks on the planet, climbing mountains across the globe, skateboarding with some of the best on the planet, and being lit on fire amongst other, quite frankly, death-defying stunts that he has been doing. So, you know, the writing, I guess, has been on the wall as far as an injury coming to Darby Allin. Hopefully, it's not a major one. Hopefully, he recovers quickly. Hopefully, he's back in the Continental Classic, and hopefully he has a long career ahead of him. But best wishes to Darby Allin. Later on in the show, we will get into the results, a full report from last night's AEW Dynamite, which was a wrestling-heavy show, and boy, oh boy, was that wrestling good. So we will get into that later tonight. However, there is some news and some things being set up from that show. Next week on AEW Dynamite, we will have a championship match between Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston. They will also have the finals of the AEW Women's Tag Team title tournament as the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, will take on a team which we will get to later. I'm not going to spoil the results, but they will take on the winner of a match between the Timeless Love Bombs and the Mega Problems, which took place also last night on AEW Dynamite. They announced also that the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal will be taking place in a few weeks on Wednesday, December 17th. I believe next week is Winter is Coming. I believe the following week is a Holiday Bash edition of Dynamite and Collision coming to us from Manchester, England. Winter is Coming, taking place in Cardiff, Wales. So a big month for AEW across the pond. They will have the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal for the ring, the Dynamite Diamond Ring, as I mentioned. This will take place Wednesday, December 17th as part of a 3-hour combo. Holiday Bash, Dynamite and Collision. So another 3-hour show coming at us. The last two participants in the ring from this match will then advance. So we will not get a winner on December 17th. Instead, we'll get a winner the next week on the special Christmas Eve Dynamite on 34th Street edition of Dynamite, airing at a special time of 6 p.m. Eastern. So a relatively early start, especially on the West Coast. But hey, on Christmas Eve, your shopping should be done. You should have some time to sit down, enjoy a couple gallons of eggnog, kick back, and find out who's going to then challenge for the AEW World title weeks later after winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring, as the winner of that match will get a shot January 14th in Phoenix, Arizona on Dynamite. The ring, introduced in 2019, has only been held by MJF who has been off TV since losing to Mark Briscoe at September's All Out in a tables and tax match. The runners-up to MJF include Hangman Page, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, Ricky Starks, Juice Robinson, and Adam Cole. So I believe that we will be getting at least a new runner-up, as I don't see any of them losing to MJF. Maybe we will get a new champion, as MJF hasn't been seen, or perhaps this is the impetus for his comeback. We will find out in just weeks' time, as this will begin to take place on December 17th. Also, in AEW news, there are some matches that have been announced for AEW as they take on CMLL in what is being billed as a Dream Matches event on December 19th in Arena Mexico, as the CMLL, the new CMLL, and we saw this title around his waist last night on AEW Dynamite, the newly crowned CMLL heavyweight champion, Claudio Castagnoli, will defend against Ultimo Guerrero in a first-time ever match. So Claudio Castagnoli just defeated Gran Guerrero, and now he will take on Ultimo Guerrero. I'm not quite sure which is the next in the evolution of the Guerreros. I'm not sure if Ultimo Guerrero is actually the penultimate Guerrero or if he is the final one. We will find out in just a couple weeks' time, December 19th. Also on that show, the CMLL historic welterweight champion, who is in the Continental Classic, Mascora Dorada, will defend against fellow Continental Classic participant, Speedball Mike Bailey, in a first-time ever match. And in a rematch from July's Fantastica Mania, Neon, the high flyer, will take on another man known for his ability to fly through the skies. That is Kevin Knight. In the next segment, we will get into the ROH Final Battle Show, everything TNA has coming up this weekend, NXT, UFC, a full report on AEW Dynamite, and probably some more technical difficulties coming at you.
Didn't say that was a submission.
The Mystic is actually a submission? I didn't say that was a submission.
Editor Sean.
Are back on Wrestling Observer Live. Big back coming at you with tons of information on the upcoming weekend and the lineup of shows ahead of us. I'll start off with what's sure to be a huge matchup tomorrow night. This has been long awaited. We've been building to this for seemingly months, really a year. And that is who will it be that faces John Cena in his final match ever? It has come down to two men, and they will battle it out in the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament on SmackDown tomorrow evening on USA Network. The Ring General Gunther will take on L.A. Knight. Gunther, the odds-on favorite in many people's minds, defeated Solo Sikoa on Monday Night Raw in a fantastic match, the best darn Solo Sikoa match you ever did see in your entire life. This match ruled, got a standing ovation. Men were on their feet crying and weeping, going back and forth chanting, "We want Gunther. We want Solo." Just the emotion that they captured was great. Seeing people get behind two villains, embracing their inner hatred and deviousness, and cheering on these two men. I loved it. LA Knight defeated Jey Uso via pinfall after Jey Uso hit the Uso splash. Took his eyes off the ball, as some would say. He repositioned to make the pinfall, and LA Knight pinned him, shoulders to the mat, to move on. So they will face off tomorrow. The winner, of course, will then get the honor of facing John Cena in his final match in just next week, actually, in Washington, D.C. Wow. I can't believe it. It's like we're going to have quite a few weeks here, because we're going to have John Cena retiring, a man who has really epitomized American professional wrestling for the last 20 years, I would say, along with a man that you could say is his counterpart in a lot of ways, Hiroshi Tanahashi, doing much the same thing, retiring after almost 20 years, being a major name in Japan and around the globe. So a very exciting, I guess you could say, but also a time that I'm not necessarily looking forward to, is having neither Tanahashi or John Cena in the ring, but they've had great careers. So, of course, we can look forward to the next few weeks and them winding down. Now, we also have a huge weekend, as I mentioned, for TNA upcoming tonight. And this is after, of course, they announced what may be the most important deal that they have ever made, and that is getting onto the AMC networks. TNA Impact, Thursday Night Impact, will debut on the AMC networks just next year. Impact still currently on Access TV in the U.S., Sportsnet 360 in Canada, TNA Plus all around the world. We'll see if TNA Plus continues to be around or if it's nonplussed by AMC after this new deal. Tonight, and this is ahead of a pay-per-view, ahead of Final Resolution tomorrow. Tonight, we will have the Hardys, Steve Macklin, and Cedric Alexander unite against NXT's Lexis King, Stax, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek. We will also have Danny Luna battle Zaya Brookside in a number one contenders match for Li Ying Lee's Knockouts World title. Mustafa Ali takes on Trey Miguel. Mike Santana returns to action just 24 hours before Final Resolution. He faces Robert Stone. Leon Slater will be a guest on the First Class Penthouse of AJ Francis and Rich Swann. And the hometown man takes on NXT's Brooks Jensen. I believe also tonight, if you are in the El Paso area, there's the TNA Hardy Party taking place at La Numero Uno Taqueria in El Paso. So there's a special Q&A photo opportunity. I mean, it says a party. If you've ever wanted to party with Jeff Hardy, they are advertising it. It sounds like that could be either the best time of your life or one of the biggest mistakes. However, I would imagine that things will be kind of tame at La Numero Uno Taqueria. However, you can join the Hardy Party tonight. And, of course, that brings us to TNA Final Resolution tomorrow, where the newly crowned champion, the man who single-handedly got them a new cable television deal, Frankie Kazarian, will make his first defense against, ironically, another man who has mentioned he is going to be hanging it up in the not-too-near future, in the near future, and that is one JDC, formerly known as Fandango to many of you. So that match will be taking place. We'll have Lei Ying Lee defend her title against the winner of Danny Luna and Zaya Brookside, which will take place tonight. Robert Stone, Charlie Dempsey, Lexis King, Brooks Jensen, Tyson DuPont, Tyreek will all have matches. They will all be in action after invading TNA and costing Mike Santana the title a few weeks ago. The Hardys will take on Tyson and Tyreek for the TNA World Tag Titles. Steve Macklin will defend his TNA International title against Stax, and Mike Santana will try to get a measure of revenge against Charlie Dempsey. Leon Slater will defend his TNA X Division Championship against, get this, a man that I'm sure you think of when you think of the X Division, AJ Francis. We'll see if AJ Francis can turn the tides there in the X Division and make it first class. And Matt Cardona will fight Mance Warner. No DQs, no countouts. The Rascals take on the System. The Rascals now at full strength with the return of Desmond Xavier. And they will take on Mustafa Ali, the Great Hands, and Special Agent Zero. And the TNA Knockouts World Tag Titles are on the line as the Inspiration defend against Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford. So a big week of news for TNA on the cable television front, on the media rights property front. Maybe Big Data needs to watch their back because TNA is coming for them in the 18 to 45 demo or whatever it is. And a big weekend of shows for them this weekend. Of course, we have ROH Final Battle also taking place tomorrow, where Ricochet will defend his AEW national title against Dalton Castle. This show takes place at the Greater Columbus Convention Center in Columbus, Ohio. We will have the finals of the Pure ROH Women's Tournament. I don't know who's in the finals. I believe Dave has reported it's Billy Starks, although I don't think that has been put out in public by ROH. Athena will defend the ROH Women's title against Persephone. Shane Taylor Promotions will defend the ROH World Six-Man Tag titles against Sky Flight. Mercedes Moné will defend the ROH Women's World TV Championship against former champion Red Velvet. La Faction Ingobernable. Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortos will try to hold on to those titles for that stable as they take on the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, and Adam Priest for the vacant ROH World Tag titles after Roosh suffered a injury recently. Lee Moriarty will take on Nigel McGuinness in a 30-minute Iron Man matchup to settle the score between those two. And in the main event, in what is sure to be a barn burner. If they're already, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of barns in Columbus, Ohio. We have Bandito, the current ROH world champion, defending in a survival of the fittest match, taking on Blake Christian, the Beast Mortos, Sammy Guevara, Commander, and Hechicero. And looking at that, I believe Bandito will prove himself to be the fittest of those 6 competitors. There's NXT Deadline tomorrow as well, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas. Ethan Page defends the NXT North American Championship against Mr. Iguana. Tatum Paxley takes on Izzy Dame. Sol Ruka versus Lola Vices versus Kalani Jordan versus Jordan Grace versus Kendall Gray in a Iron Survivor match. Javon Evans versus Leon Slater versus Joe Hendry versus Dion Lennox versus Miles Bourne in the other Iron Survivor match. And in the main event, we will have Ricky Saints taking on Oba Femi. That comes to us from Columbus, Ohio. TNA is in Texas. AEW's all over the place. WWE's all over the world. I'm all over the place. And we'll be back in the next segment with a full AEW Dynamite report.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Okay, can everyone hear it?
Yeah.
There's a mystery bell at Granny's house. She can't hear it. Take off your headphones for a second.
I had them on wrong anyway.
Okay.
I can't get them on right. What?
Take them off and listen.
You have in your elbow?
Is the fan on a computer?
Nothing.
All right. Well, this is going to be an exciting show.
Gonna have bells ringing through the whole thing, and it's every week. It's got to be me.
Do you have a neighbor that's an ice cream man
No,
practicing out there?
I got a neighbor that smokes marijuana.
I'm sure you do. I guess
Whatever that noise is, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, dude.
Brian, do you want me to get off here and go see if open the door and see if there's anything out there?
Kidding? Something's out the front door?
Is he ringing the bell the entire time?
No, Granny, you don't
Let
need
me
to-
in! Let me
it's
in!
Fine. It's fine.
If it's death, don't open the door.
Thank you, Craig. This person thinks it's a stove timer.
Have you burned the roast?
No, I don't have a stove. You want me to just get off here?
No. We're going to barrel through it.
I'd love it.
You're not even doing anything. Granny, Nick says that you've got an old-fashioned analog alarm clock in Terry's bedroom.
I don't know. I got a new alarm clock. Battery operated. Is that what she meant?
Well, whatever it is, it's going haywire right now.
Oh, it might be my alarm.
You think?
But it's way back in the bedroom.
Don't worry about it right now. But when the show's over, you might want to go...
That's what it is.
Okay.
Solve the mystery.
Is there a reason you didn't turn it off when it started ringing?
Well, I wasn't in there. I didn't.
Duh.
I took a nap. I took a nap and set the alarm. I thought I shut it off, but I probably didn't.
No.
You probably didn't.
That's life.
I would say with a good deal of certainty that you didn't turn it off.
Brian, that's life around here.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I do the show with Dave, too.
Say,
Hear all sorts of things in the background.
did I do that? You know,
Yeah, you did do that.
or I thought I did that, but I didn't.
In there.
I wake up and I see lights on, and I say, I didn't turn those lights on. What's going on?
Maybe the place is haunted.
Could be.
Okay.
It's my brain that's haunted.
Well, I hope not. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe.
Filthy Tom Lawler back on Wrestling Observer Live here today. Let's get right into this AEW Dynamite report because there's a lot going on the show. Wrestling heavy as the usual season of the Continental Classic is. We had Tony Schiavone welcome us to Indianapolis, Indiana, where he mentioned that we had a face-to-face between Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston that was about to take place that was so volatile that everyone will be barred from ringside. I mean, that doesn't really stop those two from fighting. I mean, unless the whole idea is that, Samoa Joe is only doing this like to impress the other ops. But regardless, everybody was barred from ringside. Actually, Samoa Joe kicked Tony Schiavone out of the ring once he got there and cut a promo, much like we've heard, aimed at Eddie Kingston throughout his career. Eddie Kingston never able to win the big one, never able to back up all of his talk. He's loved by everybody, but he will never be able to be at the top of the business. And Eddie told Joe that, hey, I want the Samoa Joe who was the best ROH champion of all time. I want the Samoa Joe who used to beat up my mentor, Homicide. I want the Samoa Joe that is the submission machine. I want you to bring your best. Otherwise, I'm going to eat you alive next Wednesday on Dynamite. Winter is coming. Awesome promo by Eddie. Joe's always great. But if Eddie Kingston had said he was going to eat Hook alive, I would believe it. Maybe even Shibata. But to eat Samoa Joe alive on national television, that's a tall task. You know what I mean? I mean, Joe's a big meaty guy. I don't even know if we have enough time in Dynamite. 2 hours? I don't think Eddie could eat him alive in 2 hours. Anyways, the ops were in the back, and they said next week they will finish off Eddie Kingston, much like I guess Eddie's trying to finish off Samoa Joe. Hobbs called out the Dark Order, the longtime friends of Hangman Adam Page, for a match tonight, and said that if they win, then they will get a shot at Hobbs, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. We had a match of the Continental Classic Gold League. The Bastard Pack took on Kazuchika Okada, the current Continental Champion, or whatever it is, Unified Champion. This was the second ever singles match between the two. Pac defeated Darby Allin last week. Okada lost to his fellow Don Callis family stablemate Kyle Fletcher in the opening match of the tournament. Pac went for this head of steam lariat early on, which he's been winning matches with, but Okada rolled to the floor. Later on, Pac went for it again, but he got hit with the signature Okada dropkick in a great spot. Pac countered with a Casadora pin, which is actually the move that Fletcher used last week to defeat Okada. Pac avoided Okada in the corner. German suplex, another one with a bridge. Okada with a tombstone. Both men were down. Okada went to the top for what I believe was going to be his falling elbow drop. But instead, Pac leapt up to the ropes, caught him with a top rope brain buster, hit the big running lariat. He went to lock on the brutalizer, and when he did, Okada rolled him through with a crucifix and pinned the Bastard Pac to get the pinfall victory and his first points in the Continental Classic Gold League. Mark Briscoe, the reigning and defending TNT champion, was backstage. He gave us his thoughts on Daniel Garcia and how far his opinion of him has dropped over the past year. He said he thinks Daniel Garcia is going down in a Death Rider's death spiral, and he asked Tony Khan to face him for his very own title. Mark Briscoe is going to put that TNT championship on the line in Cardiff at Winter is Coming. Another champion, the national champion, Ricochet, was backstage with the Gates of Agony, collectively known as the Demand. He said that promoters all over the world have been calling him to defend this title in another promotion. So he's going to do so by defending it in Ring of Honor against Dalton Castle. I'm pretty sure it's the same promoter for Ring of Honor and AEW. But, we don't have the full financial disclosures from them. So, hey, maybe somebody else owns enough of it that they made the call on this one. But we're going to have Ricochet take it on Dalton Castle at ROH Final Battle. The conglomeration of Roderick Strong were in the back. Roderick Strong is going to take on Orange Cassidy. Yeah. Another match in the Continental Gold League. Kyle Fletcher took on Kevin Knight. And this was a fantastic match, as you can imagine, from two of the bluest chip prospects I've ever seen in my life. Kyle Fletcher and Kevin Knight. Fletcher out-wrestled Knight on the mat a little early. Before Knight matched him, Fletcher had to flee to the floor for a reprieve. Knight gave chase. He landed a leaping lariat off the apron, followed by a springboard lariat from the inside to the floor. This was the theme of the match in many ways because they were going back and forth again, and Knight landed another fantastic lariat, springboarding from the apron into the ring that took Fletcher down. My review will not do the action that took place in this match justice, but Knight barely kicked out of a Liger bomb. Then he countered another attempt into a small package for a near 2 count, or he got a 2 count, a close near fall. Fletcher then returned with a kick, a running haluva kick style kick in the corner, which looked like it decapitated Kevin Knight, turned him into a Pez dispenser, and then, well, I guess he put the head back on with the brain buster, or maybe it fell all the way off. Kyle Fletcher picked up the win in another barn burner of a match. He has 6 points. He stands atop of the Continental Classic Gold League. We went to a commercial and came back, and Callis was in the ring with Fletcher, Josh Alexander, I believe Hechicero, and they had the Young Bucks bag of money in the ring that the Young Bucks gave up by not joining the Don Callis family, I guess, a few weeks ago. Don Callis was calling them to the ring. He wanted them to come get this money, and really, it was a trap, of course. The Bucks obliged. They charged the ring. They super kicked the family. They gave Kyle Fletcher a BTE trigger. They grabbed a bag of money, but Okada, their longtime friend, Kazuchika Okada, ran down, grabbed a hold of Matt Jackson, delivered the Rainmaker. Nick Jackson standing there in shock, and then the family attacked him. Lucha Express ran down, the Jurassic Express ran down. They made the save, but Okada low-blowed the Luchasaurus. He gave Jack Perry the middle finger. Jack Perry bit his finger, and then Mark Davis and El Clone ran in. Then Kenny Omega ran in. He made the save. Okada came in. He tried for a Rainmaker on Omega, but he missed. Omega gave him a Snapdragon suplex. Okada rolled to the floor, and the Don Callis family regrouped. Omega had a cool Santa Claus-themed Kenny Omega holding a cat in a Santa hat sweater. I think this is one of the rare wrestling shirts which I could see people wearing in public. It's pretty cool piece of merchandise there. We had the Mega Problems take on the Timeless Love Bombs in the semifinals of the AEW Women's Tag Titles Tournament in a hardcore holiday death match. I hate these team names. I mean, whatever. I guess it's cool. I'm undecided. Someone decide for me. Do I like this? Do I like the Mega Problems? Do I like the Timeless Love Bombs? Do I like the Babes of Wrath? Tell me. I'm open to suggestions. Anyways, Tony broke a champagne bottle. She was not open to suggestions. Right on Marina's head moments into the match. Carved up Megan Bain with it right before Mina whacked the Megasis with a barbed wire candy cane. Megan double suplex Tony and Mina, kinda. It looked like Mina fell on her injured wrist or hand, and then Megan launched Mina to the floor onto Tony. Tony gave Megan a pile driver off the apron through a weapon-covered table. Marina threw Mina and put her in the mother's milk, but Mina stabbed Marina in the face with a candy cane, hit her with a back fist, scaled the ropes, leapt onto Marina on the floor. Megan speared Mina through a table. Tony gave Megan a Storm Zero onto Marina. Then Santa Claus himself walked to the ring. It wasn't Kenny Omega in a Santa Claus hat with a cat in a Santa Claus hat. This was Santa Claus, or so we thought. He walked to the ring. He presented a present to Marina Shafir, who unwrapped it. Instead, it was a middle finger. Underneath the Santa hat was the return of Luther. Tony then German suplex Marina. Luther handed Tony a high heel. She stabbed Marina in the head and then pinned her with a small package. The finals of the tournament to determine the first ever AEW Women's Tag Champions will be the Babes of Wrath, taking on the Timeless Love Bombs next week. Then basically we'll get right to the Ops versus Dark Order match. The Ops wasted no time attacking the Dark Order from behind as they were on the apron making their entrance. I believe the Ops beat them up through a commercial break because that's what Excalibur told me. But Evil Uno made a comeback when we came back from commercial. Then Hobbs got a tag. He was the only man standing from his team. However, that was enough as he power slammed Evil Uno, gave him a spine buster, and pinned him as Shibata and Hook had the other Dark Odors locked in their clutches on the apron. And then, as advertised earlier, the Dark Order actually, before the match, told Hangman Page not to ruin it. He said he wouldn't, but he'd be out there as soon as the match was over. He went to the ring. He had a beer... what do you have? A beer bottle in one hand. He was able to avoid their attacks. He set Hobbs up for a buckshot lariat. Security ran down. They cornered him. He laid him out. And in the main event, we had the Continental Classic Blue League matchup. Mox taking on the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion Claudio Castagnoli. The referee, Bryce Remsburg, almost immediately booted Marina Shafir from ringside. Then they engaged in what was described as a probing technical start before Mox resorted to some brawling as he was being outmaneuvered. These guys went back and forth. They wrestled as hard as you would imagine these two would. Submissions, slams, strikes. Claudio's hitting uppercuts all around the ring, into the steps, hits the Ricola bomb. Mox fires up in his face. They just rifle strikes back and forth at each other. Both men are down. Justin Roberts gives us a 5 minutes remaining call. Both men reach their feet, and in a dash of rage, they charge at each other. Claudio lands a vicious European uppercut, drops Jon Moxley, pins him, and defeats the leader of his very own stable, the Death Riders, to sit atop the Blue League of the Continental Classic with 6 points and to end the show. I thought it was a great edition of AEW Dynamite. Not as great as this edition of Wrestling Observer Live has been, and we will wrap it up in the final segment. Coming back at you.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh,
How
jeez.
can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip hop group that asked the question, "Are you down with O period, P period, P period" in 1990?
You somehow made it better. O period, P
Stop the show
period.
now. We've peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with O period, P period, P period? On the show The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is there? At what?
What just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Two-pack. Vegas.
Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a trip to the Vegas Strip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop.
Wrestling Observer Live, back here in the final segment of the show. Filthy Tom Lawler, gonna wrap things up for you. I just gave the almost full report of AEW Dynamite. I did skip a few backstage segments in there, but I'd like to mention that I watched an online promo that AEW put out after the show, and I thought it was very interesting because it was mainly focused on the Death Riders who were in the back in the stairway. It was Pac, Marina, and Mox, and they were joined in mid-workout by Claudio. And they said that if any of them win the Continental Classic, they all win. And then they turned their attention to the Don Callis family for being motivated by money. And Moxley said, look, we don't give any ground, and if you want anything from them, the Death Riders, they better come take it. So, a not so subtle hint towards a Death Riders face turn, and then a Death Riders and Don Callis family feud on the horizon. And in a final news note I would like to get to, a wrestling legend has been honored. Yes, indeed, a longtime stalwart in the wrestling community, one of the greatest competitors we have ever seen come near a ring, has been given a statue in Detroit, as there has now been a RoboCop statue erected at 3434 Russell Street in Detroit. Of course, RoboCop, the big star of WCW Capital Combat in 1990. So always good to end on a feel-good story. RoboCop finally getting the recognition that he deserves. And maybe we'll get some recognition tomorrow from the boss man, Bryan Alvarez, as he will be back here on Wrestling Observer Live to give you all the news in the world of pro wrestling and combat sports. Thanks for spending the last 50 minutes with me. Hope you have a great day. Peace.